Hello YouTube! So I figured I'd make another video quickly so that my people, my friends, my one friend in particular who subscribed doesn't have to complain to me about how I never upload enough videos. And plus I figured since I'm already on the computer, might as well do something more productive than reblog things on Tumblr. So today I'm going to be talking about, today I'm going to be talking about childhood movies or role models, and I mean, depending on how old you are, it would probably be different, but I'm sure there are people out there who have similar ones. When I was younger, the first movie I ever saw in the theaters or cinema or whatever you say wherever you're from was Mulan, which was a huge, she was my go-to idol. I loved her so much. And honestly, I own the movie now too, which is fantastic. I think I might own the second one as well. And I love that movie so much, and I think it's very empowering in a lot of ways. I remember seeing that and thinking, I don't want to be the fragile princess. I want to go sword fight and shoot arrows and rockets and kick butt and do cool things. I mean, one of the biggest things I wanted to do was cut my hair with a sword, which I highly doubt is ever going to happen, but I just remember watching that thinking, it's so cool to be such a kick-ass kind of tough girl rather than being the damsel in distress. And I mean, sure, she had her moments where she did get hurt, but in the end she saved everybody, which was fantastic, which is a great lesson to teach people. And I think it also talked a lot on sexism, because even though it is set in China, years and years ago, and pretty much everywhere was like that. And it touches on how after she gets kicked out of the army, she's trying to warn people, and they won't listen to her because she's a woman. And I just remember being so frustrated. And the older I've gotten, the more I realize that kind of is still an issue. And not that I want to get into huge amounts of, talking about sexism and stuff right now, because it's more about role models, but I just remember looking up to her so much for being so strong and independent, and she just didn't care. She was getting beat up by some huge, scary guy, and she wasn't gonna quit, even though she might have been terrified, and she blew him up. So that's my first one. I don't know if anybody else loves her the way I do. She was fantastic. I'll remind everybody at the end that you can comment whether or not you liked her and why you did it, and if you had a different role model that you really looked up to. I actually had another huge Disney influence, which is probably not as much so as Mulan, but I loved Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and how she was like so sassy and she wasn't gonna give in. And I actually had an outfit that I used to wear around the house. I used to wear it everywhere, actually. I used to dress up as her, and that's all that I would do. I walked around pretending to be her, and I remember thinking she was so cool because she wasn't scared of hardly anything either. She was so cool. I mean, I guess that's the correlation is with my heroes. They're just like kick butt heroines who don't care. But she was a huge factor, and she's very strong. And I was really upset though at the end of the movie, even when I was younger, that she didn't end up with Quasimodo, because I thought that would have been sweet and perfect, and kind of like a love conquers all. But I mean, at the same time, she did end up with a knight who probably should have hated her, so it was kind of that whole love conquers all thing anyway. So, and I'm not gonna say that, even with all these people, all these women or characters that I looked up to, characters, that I ended up exactly like them. I definitely didn't. There was a huge period in my life where I wasn't like it at all, and I think I just let what was expected society-wise kind of dictate how I was supposed to be, and a lot of peer pressure, which I shouldn't have done, and I definitely regret it to a certain extent, but I think it's good at this point in my life to kind of look back and appreciate how much of an effect they've had on me. The only other one I can think of right now is, I did mention this in my last video too, but I've always, when I grew up watching like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was huge. I loved it so much. I love the fact that she would go out and she'd get her butt kicked. She'd be like, whatever, I'm gonna find you anyway, and I'll kick your butt then, take you down. And vampires too when I was younger, and it was just cool to see somebody like her kicking vampire butt. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't also watch the show because of certain vampires that may have been on it, but it was a fun show. I liked it, and I think it really, she was very strong, and she might not have been the perfect character ever. There were plenty of flaws, but it was a lot better than her constantly needing to be helped, rather than it being a guy who was going out and killing vampires, and then her being, some hapless girlfriend. She was strong, and she, was awesome. I loved her. So there are some of my childhood heroes. I mean, some of them I still look up to, probably more than I should. But those are some of the people that I have probably helped shape who I am as a person. And I probably owe a lot to the people who wrote their characters and who portrayed their characters. So if you want to share who you looked up to as a kid, you can type in the comments below. Or if you want to give your thoughts or opinions on people who I've mentioned, everybody has their own opinion. If I said something that was inaccurate, feel free to let me know as well, and I'll correct it. And you can leave me ideas if you want certain videos in the future for all my subscriber. I'm kidding. For a couple of you, I know there's a couple of you. So if you have ideas, then feel free to tell me. Or if you have feedback, feel free to tell me. And please thumbs up if you're watching this, even if you're not subscribed, because that would be awesome. So I know that at least whether you like it or not, and if I should follow what I'm doing. So that would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, lovely people of YouTube and the internet. Mwah! Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the video and give me a thumbs up. Please feel free to leave comments on the video about your opinions or your own childhood role models. Till next time. So when I was younger, Peaches. When I was younger, Peaches, oh god.